The search is on for Christopher Smith in Peacemaker Episode 6. This is the preview. Hey everyone, welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel and a fan of Peacemaker and the DCU, hit that subscribe button. I discuss it with you all the time on the channel. I got another video coming out about Brainiac, of course. That'll come out later today. I'm looking forward to that one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below of Peacemaker Season 2. What do you like? What are you not liking? Where are you hoping it goes? Because Episode 6 is on its way. It's coming in like Miley Cyrus. And James Gunn was on the Two Bears One Cave podcast this week, and he talked about this episode very briefly, didn't give anything away, and obviously he's not going to. As he said, this episode is going to blow people's minds, the cameos that are going to come in. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Just too many surprises in those last three episodes, especially 6 and 8, that are just crazy.
But what he said on that podcast about this specific episode, episode 6, he said, it made him cry.
Episode 6 of Peacemaker's coming out soon. There's a scene in that I cry every single time I see this scene.
He did say he gets emotional watching his stuff sometimes, but this episode made him cry. He said there's a part in episode 1 that made him cry as well. He didn't go into what it was, but he said episode 6 made him cry. What could that mean? I think bad things are on the way. I think we're going to have some real stakes in Peacemaker Land in episode 6, judging by where the 11th Street kids are headed. They're going to Earth X. Let's be honest, this dimension is not... It's not great. He's going to learn a lot of things. The title of the episode is, of course, Ignorance is Chris, which right there tells you ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is Chris is a play on the words, obviously, and Chris is not going to see the surroundings. He's just going to be infatuated with being with hardcore, with being in this world where people love him, where his brother is alive, where his father loves him, where they're the top trio. He's going to be infatuated with all of that, and he's not going to see the surroundings for what they truly are, and that's Ignorance is Chris. Of course, while this is all going down, if you watch the trailer, you know the 11th Street kids aren't going to let him stay there for much longer. They go right in there. I was kind of surprised at how quickly they got that interdimensional portal working. Like, honestly, I was quite surprised with how, we're going right there, episode 6, we are in. And they get it to work. I love that they're at Vigilante's house and they go to his basement. It's filled with drugs and Economos, the dry delivery, as always. I love that. But I love that they're going to do this at Vigilante's house. It seems perfect as he sees Peacemaker as his best friend. Speaking of Vigilante, this is something I cannot figure out, is who his character will be in the alternate dimension. I'm really, really fascinated with how they're going to handle that and what they're going to do there, because I feel like it's going to be something big, because he's been mentioning it several times throughout the season. They want you to know that he wants to know what his persona is like over there, and he really wants to meet his other person. So I don't think it's somebody he's going to really like, maybe, or it could be, I don't even know. I honestly, that is something I just haven't quite figured out yet. I do think we're heading towards Lex Luthor. I did a video on this, and also G.I. Robot possibly being in the episode a little while ago. You can check that out on the channel. But I think Lex Luthor is a shoo-in to appear. Nobody knows the QUC, the pocket dimension, better than Lex Luthor. I think Rick Flag is going to need Lex Luthor to get there. Also, I should point out, everything I'm saying is pure speculation. This is the preview show. We're having fun. I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. This isn't about having the answers. It's about having the fun to get there. So I think Lex Luthor is a shoo-in. Now, when we get there, we know that we're going to be bombarded with cameos, whether it's in our dimension or the other dimension, right? We don't know. There's a fan trailer going on. I got to point out it's a fan trailer because it was making its round, and I think people are getting confused. You kind of see a Nightwing style character in that trailer. I don't think it's impossible to see Nightwing whatsoever. I got very excited when I saw it, because we know there's a dynamic duo movie, which seems really cool and awesome, in the works. So you know that Nightwing and Red Hood are at play, because I believe that is a DCU property. It's not an Elseworlds movie. It's a DCU movie. And if it's a DCU movie, whoever voices those characters in that will most likely play them in live action, because that's been like 98% of what's happening here. So if that's the case, if Nightwing does appear in this dimension, or Red Hood appears in this dimension, or our dimension, in this episode, I should say, then the chances are that'll be the voice actor who's playing him in the movie. So it could work. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Now, I think Superman is 100% going to happen. I think we're going to meet Superman in both dimensions, and I think the one in Dimension X, Neutrals, is not going to be the nice and groovy Superman that we know. If there is a Superman there at all, I think based on the kaiju stuff, I kind of speculate that maybe there's just no Superman, because if it does go the way you'd suspect, either Superman is there and he's not who we think, but if Superman is as good-natured as he's supposed to be, maybe they just don't allow him in that dimension at all and they kill him on delivery or something. Who knows what happens there? That could be the case. So there might not even be a Superman in that dimension whatsoever. Some other characters I think have a really good possibility, a very realistic shot of appearing in episode 6 and maybe episode 8, but I'm going to call this one episode 6, characters for episode 6. I just gave you some. I think some other ones, though, that are probably a shoo-in. We're going to get Blue Beetle. I think Blue Beetle is a guarantee. I think Booster Gold is about like 80% on this one. I did a video a little while ago. I suspect Huntress is making her debut, her DCU debut in this one. We heard rumors that Pom Klementieff will be playing the role. It makes sense. She's a James Gunn vet. He hasn't really talked about her. Nobody's really been questioning it. I think it makes sense that she will be in this, and Huntress is a great role for her that would lead into a spin-off show. Remember, James Gunn also said that there was a series being discussed that no one's been talking about, and a Huntress TV show was talked about a long time ago, and he wouldn't be lying. This is something that nobody's really been speaking about whatsoever, so that could be what he's discussing. I mean, there's 1,000 other options, but this could be the one. I think Captain Atom is somebody that's right in James Gunn's wheelhouse. He manipulates and absorbs nuclear energy, which also kind of fits into what we're dealing with here in a subtle kind of way. Again, there's G.I. Robot, any Creature Commando, anyone from Superman, like any character from Superman. I'm putting my money on Lex and Superman himself. My money is mostly on Lex, but anybody else from Superman could probably make an appearance as well, including Mr. Terrific. Guy Gardner and Hawker already have, so, we'll shoot them, but maybe Mr. Terrific has a bigger role, especially considering the dimension that they're in. And I gotta mention Martian Manhunter. I did a video a little while ago speculating that Martian Manhunter may appear in Man of Tomorrow, and I kind of really think we're on our way. James Gunn has mentioned a lot of hints, and a rumor was swirling a little while ago that Charcuterie would return to Peacemaker as Martian Manhunter. You know what? Until proven wrong, I'm just going to jump right on that bandwagon because I am all in on that one. Let's go. And the last name I'm going to bring up is one I'm going to do a video on later in the day. I think the DCU has, since its inception with Superman, maybe not Creature Commandos, but more so Superman, has been leading us directly, and not indirectly, directly to Brainiac. I think there is a chance, maybe not in 6, maybe in 8, but we learned that Brainiac is the big bad, and this is the cause, the root of a lot of issues, and that's what the pocket dimension, the QUC, it's all Brainiac. There's a lot of clues that lead us there. Like I said, another video is going to come out. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with it, and I have a lot of fun talking about it with you guys as well. That's where I think this is going. The episode itself, though, I don't think it's going to end well for the 11th Street Kids. I really don't. I think there's going to be a lot of problems to be had in this other dimension for them, especially Adebayo and Judo Master. It's not going to end well for them at all, and that could be the reason why James Gunn cried. I hope it's not. I really hope it's not, because I don't think it will be, but it could be. Eagly also. Eagly might not be in, Eagly is not in that dimension, so Eagly might not survive being in that dimension either. People might not want a bald eagle there whatsoever. There's a lot that could be covered. I've also said if Eagly goes, that is a hurdle for Christopher Smith, for Peacemaker, and this is a character who's continuing to grow, and that unfortunately would be a massive step in his growth. Ultimately, I think we're going to remain in this dimension for at least one more episode. Episode 7, I think, is going to be the calm before the storm. This one's going to be some rough waters. Then there's going to be a calm before the storm, and then we're going to explode in episode 8. I don't know what that calm is. I think some of the 11th Street Kids are going to leave the dimension and go back home, and I just think that this is going to be the one that's going to end Empire Strikes Back style. The bad guys are going to win. Chris is going to be stuck there, and then there's going to be the slow realization of where he truly is. And that's going to come into play in episode 7, where it's all going to come to him, all come to a head, and he's going to really understand the dimension, the world that he's in, and it's not right, it is not okay, regardless of his father, regardless of his brother. He needs to either set that world right, or he has to go back home, and I think that's going to play out in episode 7, and episode 8 is going to be the big overall arc story of it all, and maybe that's where that all plays out. But I think at the end of this episode, he's going to be in there, and he's going to have the subtle realization of what's going on, and episode 7 will be the fruition of that. Could be wrong, speculating, having a good time with it. James Gunn releases a curated playlist every week, So let's talk about this week's curated playlist. First on his list, he's got Little Drops of Heaven by Pretty Maids. The vibe of this song is big, emotional, hard rock, power ballad with soaring vocals and a very heartfelt tone. The way it could be used in this episode, Gunn often uses these kind of songs during montage sequences of moments of emotional vulnerability. Of course, we've got Foxy Shazam's Oh Lord, the theme song for the season. It's a wild, gospel-tingled glam rock track with big vocals and over-the-top energy. It's theatrical, almost tongue-in-cheek, but still powerful. The way it could be used in this episode is obviously the opening credits. But that being said, it does play into the theme of every episode. The next song on his list is Forever and One Neverland Halloween. This is a classic German power metal ballad, very emotional, about loss, regret, and longing. It's heavy, but sentimental. For Presence of Mind by Dynasty. This is a newer melodic metal song, high energy with lyrics about breaking free, awakening to new strength. The way it could be used is this feels like a climatic fight track. You get a feeling that Peacemaker, his father and brother, the top trio, are going to team up and go against a massive force. Thematically, it fits with Peacemaker's ongoing arc of self-awareness, him finally realizing who he is beyond his father's shadow, and the government's manipulation. This whole season seems to be about figuring out who you are, learning who you are, and what you mean to the people around you. And that I think this episode is going to continue on that, but with lots of cool cameos, which is the fun of it. And James Gunn understands tone, he understands storytelling, and he understands what makes these stupid projects tick, because he keeps knocking them out of the park. Now, they're not for everybody, obviously, but I think he's doing it very well, and I'm really curious to see where they take it. Like I said, Brainiac is my theory on this one. I have the video later on today, and it's my theory, of course. Everybody on the planet is talking Brainiac right now, but I really think that he hasn't even been hiding it. Brainiac's been there in plain sight, and we're going to discover that after episode 6. Ignorance is Chris. So those are my thoughts heading into the next episode. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate your time. I'll be back with my Brainiac video later today and some more. Thank you so much, everybody. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Until next time, may you be the master of your own universe.